Hey, how are you? Mr. B's Fishing Things. First comment. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. 2 here, 2 thumbs up, or 3 thumbs up. Thank you guys very much. Shared out on FishTubers notifications. If you have not been a part of FishTubers notifications on Facebook, you need to settle in with that and subscribe. Get to know when great channels have content coming out. So now it's beginning to be crunch time. In fact, I promised to voice something for Chewy yesterday and have time to do it, and I'll tell you why. I've been just every day getting ready to move, and if you've closed on a house, you know what I'm talking about. It's like nuts. So Wednesday, I get a note from the mortgage people. They want a copy of they want to see a physical copy because my W-2s from 2018 because they didn't think they were clear enough. So I moved and my taxes were packed away somewhere. So Wednesday, got home from work, and I get home from work usually mid-afternoon. I dug through everything like a crazy man. Dug through it and going on from there. So then Thursday I had something else. Yesterday I'm going, well, that's good. I got that done. So I get home on Friday and I get a call from the mortgage company and they need statements from my bank, which is a different bank than the one I'm getting through. So you know how this goes. It's nuts. So I'm beginning to do the packing and getting all the coordination going. So it's nuts. So Chewy, I'll get it done today, I promise, and I'm sorry. But I have to go and Reels Tanks in the house. So my closing time, I want closing time on the house to be like at 1 o'clock or something like that. But it's not till 3 on a week from Monday. So by the time I get done with everything, I'll be back. I'm not gonna have time to move stuff over that first night. Second day, I have a truck. I have a truck all set up, ready to go. Hey, that's right, Doug Gray, Harmon Killebrew. Harmon was probably one of the most boring people who ever walked the earth. He did Twins broadcasts for years, and yeah, he was terrible. He could hit a home run, and just imagine without steroids, he's still high up there on the list. So, yeah, let's see. Who else do we have here? We have Big J's Fish Keeper, Doug Gray, Griffin Fish Rooms. We got Chewy, got, I think I mentioned everybody. So, Cool Beans. 7 here, 7 thumbs up. Thank you guys very much. So this week has just been bonkers. And so next week, I need to go buy a couple of more aquariums. So I'm going to get that all set up. 8 thumbs up now. Excellent. Thanks, Chewy. And so I need to go and get that set up. Holy capoli, 9. I'm not seeing 9 on my end yet, but sometimes it takes a little while. I'm sure it is there. And which I'm very, very excited about. So my 9 here, 9 in the house. Excellent. So, hey, Big Tank Hank, what up, my friend? David Samsel, hello. Welcome to the live stream. Great having you here. So yeah, I'm nuts. I've got to get ready to move. I've got to do all this stuff. It's work has been really busy. My company has a consultant who comes in and speaks with us about twice a year, and he's coming in next week. He's going to be in Tuesday. So I close a week from Monday, I should say, on March 2nd. March 3rd, I'm going to move aquariums over. I'm going to set up aquariums. I'm going to move some stuff over from the house. And then that Saturday, I'm going to move everything over except for the tanks that are set up. So my goal is that I'm going to go, hopefully, that Tuesday night, I'll be able to get the tanks up and running. And on Saturday, it's probably Sunday after I move everything over, go through there. Bolo wouldn't like his own bedroom. He has it. He has it here. He has it in my bachelor panorama right now. So so yeah, Bolo, yeah, he has to be near me. In fact, I have to look down at night. If I have to make a run to the restroom, need a drink of water, shot of tequila, I've got to go and run and get that done. So I have to look down very carefully. The carpet in this place, in the place I'm living at right now, is kind of dark and dealing with a black dog that's small. So I have to look down. Now, there's a good news here is that he normally sleeps right next to the bed. So it's easy to see him. And a lot of times he has his head resting on top of a shoe, which guarantees I wake him up. But yeah, Bolo is going to have, for the first time in his almost 13 years on this planet, so in September it'll be 13. He is going to have his own fenced-in backyard. And I won't leave him out for long periods of time, mainly because he's a little dog, number one. Number two, he's old. Number three, it's just, the deal is about having a little dog like this. Daryl Deemer, welcome. By the way, anybody here who hasn't said hello yet, please do so I can say hi to you. I know there are people that lurk. There's a guy or two, a couple of people in Northwest Arkansas Aquarium Club who watch the live streams and never chime in. Say hi, it's okay. And then I have a buddy of mine who's a fish nerd like us, but he's not real. He's got like one tank, but he likes playing around with it. And he's into it, and he watches these things, but he never says anything. So yeah, I'll tell you what, Hawks carrying off Bolo is not. He's a little bigger than a rabbit. A wild cottontail in this thing weighs about 2.5 pounds. Bolo is he's muscling in at 7 big pounds. But yeah, I have to look out for that. I have to look out for people stealing them. Even though I have a high thing, it's just I have to go and set it up. Now, the next door neighbor is a cop who I think may be a canine. He has a German Shepherd. He doesn't have a Belgian Malinois. And Bolo is going to be busy laying down through the fence who's in charge. And let me tell you what, it ain't the cop dog. It's going to be Bolo. Bolo's going to lay down the smack. Let that dog know who's in charge. The only type of dog, by the way, Bolo's scared of is that dogs that are really, really big. It's we showed him a little bit when he was younger, and for whatever reason, a couple of times, a couple of different Neapolitan Mastiffs, which are huge, which are like 180 pounds, somewhere around there. For whatever reason, they liked him. They, nose down to him. He didn't necessarily know how to do that. Let's see. You should buy bags of catnip and lay it on your driveway to test the policeman and police dog out. You see, there you go. I'm going to tell you, I'm all about having like a couple of. I don't want to own a cat, But I like the idea of cats being around, because they take care of rodent issues. And so I may put out a little cat food there, and maybe put a camera on it, see if I get uh, raccoons in the middle of the night. By the way, Dr. Pepper, Diet Dr. Pepper, they're not paying for this. I have to state that and go on from there. Yeah, you know what? That's a heck of an idea, Doug. I may do that. Hey, Carrie Nature, welcome to the live stream. Happy Saturday. Um, a couple of things that I have to do. You know, and Select Pet, welcome. You always have to, when it's all said and done, I have to go and plant a tree, uh, in the front yard and a couple in the backyard. I have to go out and make that thing. It's regular regular diet Dr. Pepper. No cherry Pepsi. It's the regular diet Dr. Pepper. So they have underground utilities, so I have to call to find out where the underground utilities are. And so I don't put a tree, try digging in, and hit the power line. It's never good. Yeah, the deal is that I have enough carbs anyways. I try to keep down on the carbs. So it's like a sugared beverage going in from there. And a lot of people go, oh, it's so unhealthy. Yeah, guess what? Diabetes is too. I'm doing what I can to avoid becoming a diabetic. So I'm watching all my carbs. So the whole process, by the way, of the whole process is just I have to put in a couple of trees in the backyard, and so it's all good. No, I appreciate. I used to Carry Nature. I used to drink Mountain Dews like no tomorrow, and I would have 8 a day. I mean, I had a ton. So I actually had to go, and I actually realized that I needed it to keep going. Not all that healthy. So I drink caffeine. But I generally do not have more than 2 or 3 Diet Dr. Peppers. In the morning, I had I make coffee every morning. I had a couple of cups at for breakfast. This is my second Diet Dr. Pepper. I'll have one more after lunch. And yes, I do, Chewy. I do. Hey, Alice, KH, welcome to the live stream. Great having you here. Thanks for all the thumbs up, you guys. By the way, someone was asking about Bolo swag. So I added Bolo swag to the Mobb Guppy Teespring account, and one of them is slightly offensive. So there you go. Yeah. Yeah, Select Pet. Yeah, when I was going to college, I had to work my way through school. So I went to college full time and I worked full time. And I was at the 7 a.m. class, and I would do class after class up till noon. 1 o'clock, I had to be at my job, and I was there till 9 p.m. I would get home. I was still living with my folks at this point. And I would get home. My mom always had a nice meal there. And I would, I'd have like a beer, and I would study and eat. And since I was putting myself through school, um, my deal was I'm paying for it. It's my rules. So my rule was this, is that I'm working full time, I'm going to school full time. Um, I don't have time to get an A. Taking an A means you're going to be studying 5, 6 hours a day. That I'd be up till 2 a.m. So no, that's not happening. So for me, it was always a B. The B was the goal. How do I get that B? What do I do to get the B? So what I ended up doing is I ended up uh, working just hard enough in each subject to get a B. And once I and and if I realized I wasn't doing great in if I realized I wasn't going to get a C, if I couldn't get to the C level in a course, let's just say I didn't really jibe with the instructor, or this example, I took high school geometry, terrible. I was terrible at it. I took college geometry. I mean, my first 3 tests I failed. For whatever reason, geometry and me were two things that didn't go well together. So I dropped that course. And college, they recommended that I take I had to do 2 levels of I had to do 2 levels of um, 2 levels of math. So I took college algebra, and there was like college algebra 2, which I could have done. I got a B in it. I could have done that, but there was one called math logic, and I really loved the professor. Thought he was great. I got a C the first time, so I took it again. Again, I'm paying for it, my rules. And I went in, took it again, got the B. But he was great. He was a great professor. I really enjoyed, mainly because he talked about music a lot and talked about the mathematical degrees to music. And you think about it, we use math a lot in our what we do with our hobby. From aquarium size to weight to dealing with how much food to give, how much. We work with a lot of measurements and math. And it's making sure we put enough CChem prime in our in our water, as so that the fish are good and happy. Yeah, Alice, I hate math too, but you know what? We have to use it to a certain level in our lives, and I hate it too. For instance, the computer is great because remember back in the day where you had to. Yeah, I'll show you my age right now. Crystal, welcome to the live stream. Great having you here. Um, you know, Back in the olden days, dyscalculia. Yeah, it's just we all use math to a certain level. But back in the day, before they had all these wacky computers and looking at your bank statement online, you'd walk around with a checkbook, and yeah, it's a crystal mob. That's right. Um, you'd have to fill it out to know what your balance was. Otherwise, you had to drop by the bank to quiz them. And so, what today, everything's on the debit card. Does anybody use a check anymore, really? Unless you're, you know, over 70? My dad was paying online, and my dad passed away a couple of years ago at the age of 84. He'd been paying online for years. So, yeah, of my siblings, I was the worst at math. My brother's pretty good. My sister is pretty good. My sister's married to an engineer Her kids are like math geniuses. You pay some bills with checks, Doug? Yeah, for instance, I was just going through this the other day, and I realized that I haven't had a checkbook in about 15 years. Um, and I started paying online 20 years ago. Paying all my bills. So the other day, or when I put my earnest money down, my real estate broker said, you can show up with cash. They'll accept cash. Okay. So I arrive at the deal, and nope, I had to get a check. So I had to go to Walmart, because you get it from the bank. You're spending $10. You go to Walmart, it's 88 cents. Bingo. No, you're totally right, Vinny the Mooch. Hey, welcome to the live stream. Yeah, no, it's a big part of what we do. It's how many fish can be in an aquarium. The standard 1 inch per gallon, which of course is crap. It's meaningless. I have a Guppy tank. I'm looking over here. It's a 10-gallon. I can see at least 25 in there right now. I mean, it's just loaded up. Yeah, you see, I probably should go out and do this. I have to get the down payment check. This is what happened this week. I'll tell you what happened, the whole process. And see, there you go, Chewy. Yep. And Dr. Vimy Babots. Boom bots. That's there you go. So I had to transfer the down payment into my checking account. I was planning on I had the down payment was in like mutual funds, a couple of stocks, and so all of a sudden they went out and they said to me, "We need to see your balance now." So I had to like sell the stock, sell the mutual fund stuff. Then you have to wait 24 hours. Then you transfer it, and that takes another 24 hours. This came down on Tuesday, and I ended up, the money got transferred into my bank yesterday. So there we go. And, so now it's just the process of getting everything done. I just have to go and organize. I have a bunch of stuff to get in place. So that's kind of fun. So what's going on with the fish room? I'm just getting ready to move over and get everything in place. I'm probably gonna do my last water changes today or tomorrow. In at least in this in this place. Um, then I'll just start building up. I have to pick up. This is how, and I don't know if you guys do this or not, but let me tell you what I do is kind of goofy. I go in and I have the Lowe's blue, and I only have one of these, which is for clean water. Then for the dirty water, I have that in the orange Home Depot. And I need to pick up another blue one and probably another orange one and make it easier. So, do you know what, Chewy? I had no idea. That's something new for me to read on. That's something new for me to read on all over the place. By the way, Bolo is on my, I said his name. He's on my left. He is totally out on the couch, just totally chilling like a villain. And again, if you wanted your Bolo swag, it's available now. And one of them, it's not really obscene, but it's just, it's kind of funny. So there you go. So you can check it out in the Mobb Guppy shop on Teespring. Hey, D, what's up? Yeah, you know what, Alice, you're exactly correct. He's more well read on this than I am, and I read a whole bunch of this. Yeah, that's a good idea, Doug. One of the things I am going to be doing is that, and I'll be getting that set up here. It's like every project we all have. It's all that next step and that next step. Um, I have to get. I've looked at those Gemco, the Gemco thing to pop all that. Dylan Martin, welcome to the live stream. And they have PVC valve with all the things hooked in. Not relatively cheap. Hey, not Nola Jane Fished Rich. It's a funny shirt. Oh, you saw it. You saw it. Okay, good. Yeah, Bolo. And that's when he was 3 months old, that picture, by the way. Now, I don't know if he takes good pictures, but I don't know if he's ever taken a better picture than that. And my camera equipment's much better now. I'm glad you love the Bolo shirt. And yeah, so he's yeah, so that's what's going on. So close on the house a week from Monday. I'll go over afterwards. I'm going to haul over a Lowe's bucket and a new second reservoir for 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 aging water. I'm going to set up the first group of aquariums in the kitchen, and then I'm going to go in. I've never used sand in an aquarium. Is pool filter sand okay for loaches? I know sand for loaches and for a lot of different fish is much better. I have never used sand either. I have never used sand, Dylan, but somebody here probably has. Bob is no longer getting fish out of his supplier. He's going to specialize, Peter, due to wholesalers not properly adjust fish. Yeah, you see, there you go. Okay, Select Pet, thanks for filling in from there. And Nola and Jane as well. And so there you go. Up here we go. Pool sand is very sharp and not nice for bottom guys. Okay, now we're getting to the thing. pH shock coming out of the Rio Negro. Yeah, yep. So you see now I've learned more now about sand and by the way, I forget who was doing this. I may have brought this up on Monday's live stream. Is that if my memory serves me properly, Susan of SLC Aquatics, she was trying a dirt tank. Anybody do a dirt tank? What I'm going to end up doing with my 55s, I'm going to do African cichlids, do layers of rock, all that sort of stuff. I've decided that I'm going to go and do some box filters. Yeah, there's a run of this. I see channels that have talked about it. I have on the whole dirting of the tank thing. Um, I have never been tempted to do it, and but for instance, I never thought I'd be that much into plecos or shrimp, and I have a bunch of them. So there you go, something for you to know about my for all I know, a year from now, I'll see something, I'll read something that'll go, wow, I got a turn a tank. But right now, I'm not there yet. That's what I understand. Plants grow better in a dirted tank. I understand. And I'm not an aquaculture type of guy. Uh, I have plants because I have guppies. And I have one planted in my 55, and I killed the plants in with my Amica splendens. So there you go. My if said local LFS said something about moon sand, but I don't know what it is. They're out of stock. You know, now I have a question. If this fits in with sand, and maybe I have sand in a tank, does Eco Complete count as sand? Eco Complete. I guess I have a couple of tanks with Eco Complete. So there you go. Maybe it does count as sand. Yeah, it's Greg Sage, who I got my Amica Splendens from, does crushed lava rock. See, um, Greg Sage, who I got my Amica Splendens from. Did you get your Amica Select Pet from Greg? D, did you get your Amicas from Greg Sage? Um, he recommends 2 pots with plants in them, and so I did that. That's a good idea, Chewy. That's really a good idea. Get a small amount, check it, make sure it doesn't change the pH dramatically. No, that's a good idea. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's Greg Sage, in Colorado, he's sort of like the guy. And let's see here. Chewy probably does. Yeah, and maybe there's a type of plant, and I probably should read closer what Greg Sage at what plants he uses, you know. So who knows what that is. So it's Calgary Aquarium Society, come from the breeders that breed the fish in Calgary. Okay. All right. Let's see. I got a text. Let's see what this is. And let's see. I got invited somewhere. Okay. Well, I'll write back later on that. And find out what goes on. Um, let's see here. Well, I'll tell you what, Chewy. I love my Amica Splendens. I'm gonna have. I'm putting up another 29 in the place where I'm moving to, so I can go and have 2 aquariums with them, and which means I'll need a third. And the one thing that's a little daunting about my 55 is getting all the doggone shrimp out of there. I have sold 125 shrimp in the last month. Most of them going to Logan with Ambist Aquatics. And, I look down and, in this 55, I see, I bet you I have at least 60 in there. And that's without really doing a good add up. I need to probably do that this week. Yeah, it's a lot of the Goodiots are really, really cool fish. I just picked this one because I kind of like the coloration of the Amica Splendid. I'll probably do a second one, and at some point, you know, it's hanging around the house doing stuff with fish. My brother was hitting me up. He goes, "Are you gonna mow your yard?" Yes, I'm gonna mow my yard. And he goes, "Why don't you hire somebody?" I'm going, "No." I said, "Getting out there and smelling fresh cut grass as you do it, all star, good exercise." I can't. And now the good news about the house that I purchased, pretty flat. The other thing I'm going to do, and my brother gave me a really good idea about this, so I'm going to do what he said. I am going to, and part of this has a fish angle to it. You know what? It's, goats would be good, but it's not that big of a yard. My sister has like a 4-acre deal, and I was suggesting she get the goats and go in right from there. But she didn't take my bait. She put in the electric or the fence you can't see to keep the dog in place, and she says it works really well. She has a 100-pound golden retriever. No, I love goats. I think they're great. It's if I was going to do a little type of an agricultural thing in the backyard, I you know, I would probably do chickens. I love eggs. Get a few hens and so I could have fresh eggs. I could do that. And keep picking up bugs and stuff like that. Yeah, invisible fence, yeah. Yeah. The invisible fence work on Doug going off the property. You know, I only can tell you this, and yeah, my dog was too dumb. My childhood dog, he would have ran through it in 2 seconds. That would never have bothered him. My sister, though, has a real sort of, has a young golden retriever who's pretty rambunctious, and I'm actually surprised it works as well as it does for them. So yeah, having a few chickens. I had a coworker when I lived in Little Rock. Uh, she and her family had a couple of egg-laying ducks, and I'll tell you what, the duck eggs. Have you ever had duck eggs? Really good. So I'm going to put up a garden mainly for zucchini and for yellow crookneck squash to give to my fish. I like eating them too. Yep. Well, it's the egg-laying ducks are pretty cool. Yeah, golden retrievers are very smart dogs. It they really are. I have decided let's see, there are some endangered pupfish you should try. Great looking natives of Missouri. I'll tell you what they're going to be doing, and I can't remember the guy's name, Chewy. Northwest Arkansas Aquarium Society in June. They're having a guy who works for the Gates Foundation, who's a big fish collector and keeper, and we're going out with him to dive in the water looking for native fish and to collect native fish in Northwest Arkansas, which is basically Missouri. So there you go. Loved having chickens, great garbage disposals. The ducks, I think, had mental handicaps, especially ability ducks. Mr. B is tired up with the chickens. Get some hens, yeah. Collect those eggs. Life is good. So I'm going to set up. I'm going to get some 2x8s. I think all 5 feet in length. Get 4 of them, and I'll make a box. And in that box, I will go and will dirt it and plant zucchini, yellow squash. Um, those are two that are really easy, and you can freeze them up easily. And then buy and perhaps grow cucumbers, which, as you know, can go nuts. You can get so many of those. Yeah, coyote dummies. Yep. Oh, you have an egg eater? Are you sure it isn't like a raccoon showing up? Yeah, when I was a kid, I had rabbits, and uh, we went and you know had those. They get really good meat. Enjoy getting the rabbits out. I like the rabbits; those were good. Or a snake, yeah, a snake getting in there, getting the eggs. Raccoons are big. The other one is a skunk. Okay, very secure. Do you have an aggressive rooster? Rooster could be it. Rooster very well could be it. So, yeah, well, that's what Mr. B is scared of, Select Pet. A chicken who's come to love the taste of huevos. Spanish for eggs, everyone. Spanish for eggs. A little Espanol. Yeah, so I don't know. I've looked at chickens. Won't be this year. I think I have enough to get done around the place. Get everything organized. Yeah, it's that has to be and I hope I get this. We've packed away my parents' stuff, and I'm supposed to get a box of them right now. I hope this is in there. My grandfather, when my dad was a kid, kept a diary, had a 5-year diary with the temps each day, the high and the low, and he also kept track of the chickens. And like one day, 10 eggs, and you go through 3 eggs, 12 eggs. So, so there you go. So that's sort of how that works. The duck thing, yeah, Yeah, I kind of like the idea of getting chickens. I have to sort of figure out if they're legal to have backyard chickens. Some communities are really weird about that. And I've got a problem because my next door neighbor's a cop, and that's sort of the deal. Let's see here. I'm looking up my new town, which is Webb City, Missouri. Livestock. Let's see what we can find. And let's see. Okay, so here's some of the rules. Yard enclosure for birds and small animals other than cats and dogs. Maintenance of shelters and enclosures for animals. Certain animals are prohibited on sidewalks. Now, that is interesting. Let me go back and see what's going on here. Let's see here. Pit bulls are prohibited in Webb City, Missouri. Vicious animals. Let's see here. It's against the rules for a dog or a cat to be found running at large. Good luck catching that cat. Oh, and they actually have oh, listen to this. This is kind of funky. A bull terrier is prohibited. A Staffordshire bull terrier, breed of dog. American pit bull terrier, American Staffordshire terrier, and any dog that could look like a pit bull. Okay, but what about by the way, I'm not high on breed bans. I think they're stupid. Yeah, no, I don't, Chewy. I need to get that. Yeah, Webb City, two B's. Like two B's in Mobb Guppy. Webb City. Unfortunately, City only has one C. So that's the exciting suburb of which I am moving to. So I'm looking forward to it. Rottweilers are not on that list. I went through the list. It's not on there. And by the way, they didn't say anything against having an emu. And what I love about emus is that their eggs are huge. They're like this big. They're like a football. And fry that up with a little bit of Lowry seasoned salt. You got a full meal. Full delicious meal. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Chewy. Yeah, and by the way, I one of my buddies, his next door neighbor is a doctor, or a former next door neighbor, and this guy, for whatever reason, had loved his father-in-law, and he and the father-in-law loved horses and emus, and he had an emu farm and a horse farm. So I went out there. This is probably about 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, with my buddy Freddie, and we went on a tour of the emu farm. And this guy had like 400 emus. So it's amazing. I've not heard about the rare blind catfish found in Texas, but Texas has lots of caves, so that makes all the sense in the world. Yeah, I need to get a GoPro. Um, I need to get. Believe me, I can come up with ways to spend money on junk for the fish hobby every week. And I don't know about you guys. I could put myself. I could be totally out of money because of fish. Anybody else? I mean, I can go forever. So, yeah, select bet. There you go. Emus, kangaroo, zebras. Hey, I'll tell you what is that there was when I lived in Greenville, South Carolina, there was a restaurant there called Saskatoon. Yeah, blue emu oil is great. I get it. I've been looking at different foods. I need to get some kelp wafers that are just pure kelp, and Northfin puts those out. And I'll probably do that today. Order those. Doesn't take much to move fish stuff, fish food. I have like I have a tote or a tub that's basically all filled with fish stuff. It's like half full, and I'll just put all the fish stuff in there as I move everything over. Yeah, Bolo's sitting here. He's like, all for, yep, Northern is a Canadian deal. Oh, Canada. By the way, on the NHL or the NBA All-Star game, the lady who sang "Oh Canada" screwed it up. And then Chaka Khan, who's one of the great singers of all time, legit, just put on the world's worst version of the Star Spangled Banner. Just crazy. Absolutely crazy. So our boy Bolo here, yeah, he's gonna love it. He has never had a backyard before. It's I'm probably gonna have to take him out on a leash and walk him around. I'm gonna set up a little garbage can so I can, pick up his poop and throw it in there, and each week throw that out, and because I want a backyard full of poop. You gotta sort of stay on it. So it's pretty exciting stuff. No, I have not, but I like that. Part salmon and part eel. Kind of like that. GMO that a GMO fish is coming, developed in Canada. That's the way it should be. Eel and if you go to Japan, by the way, a little thumbs up. The most popular fish for sushi. And they'll eat anything for sushi in Japan. They love different things. Is eel. Eel the most popular. Never knew that. Helpful hint. So yeah, so the whole process of getting this done, is daunting. In fact, I have like bills and stuff I have to shred. So, well, that's the deal, Vinny the Mooch. Is that I have a buddy of mine who raises show dogs, and he and his wife sometimes have 5 or 6 dogs at a time. When I got my dog, he said, I said, well, I'm going to do, obedience class with him when he gets a little bit older. He goes, no, do puppy kindergarten. It'll socialize them. And, the deal with a Pomeranian is that they can become real protective. Hey, Bolo, say hi to everybody. Look. He's just chilling away. Well, there you go. It's 2 great flavors all in one, eel and salmon. And yeah, but the deal is that when he was a puppy, The breeder said, make sure you socialize him well. Well, I would pick him up and hand him to strangers when he was a little puppy. And he, did whatever I could to make sure he socialized with other dogs. Puppy kindergarten was unbelievable because he was probably about 4 months old, 4 or 5 months old when he went to it. He was mostly toilet trained. Occasionally he'd make a mistake, but he's pretty much on it. Well, by the end of that, by the end of that 6 weeks, a 6, 7 week course, he was toilet trained. He knew all sorts of stuff. They ran him through an obedience thing. They wanted to see which dog had an aptitude to run like one of those agility course type things. He killed it. He absolutely killed it. So, and I just didn't have time to do it. And so I don't know what I'm going to do for my next dog. I've been on a waiting list for a girlfriend for him. Hasn't happened. So, and I'm like at the point now where, there's a gal who lives a few doors down from me who has a puppy. And Bolo has lost like all of his, has lost his patience. The puppy who is real little, and again, we're talking about my dog weighs 7 pounds, so very little even compared to him. Put his feet up on Bolo. Bolo didn't take that all that well. He didn't. He let him know his displeasure. He didn't hurt him or anything like that. So, it's so his patience for certain things is out the window. So now Bolo moved off my lap, has moved over on the couch, is just sitting in a little ball. Today I went out and I ran an errand. I picked up some, because my fish need more squash. I picked up some squash and I picked up, I was out of eggs. And by the way, eggs are so cheap in Missouri. A dozen of the jumbos, they're like pterodactyl size eggs from mutant chickens. A dozen, that was 80 cents. So, and I like eggs a whole lot. I eat mostly a vegan diet. Like today, after I'm done here, I'm going to have my lunch, which is going to be featuring a delicious, I'm going to have hummus in a pita. Hummus in a pita, everybody. That's what I'm going to have. And once I'm done with the hummus and the pita, then I'm going to go and start doing stuff around the house, get stuff in place, and hopefully, we'll have a lot of my moving stuff done. So that's good. Eggs cheap in Pennsylvania as well, David. Okay. It's by the way, $4 a dozen in Canada. Yeah, in the United States, you like chickens, you're all hooked up. But I'll tell you what, and go for the quarter pounder with bacon and cheese. Treat yourself. Yeah, see, there you go. I've already had my cheat meal of the week. I picked up a steak and made it up with delicious squash, and I even had a baked potato. And British Columbia, $4. You see, there you go. That's that's chili. That's a lot of dough. Yeah, but there's something about fresh eggs which are really delicious. They really are. So, I have these jumbo pterodactyl eggs. I got it at Walmart today, 80 cents for a dozen. I've got vegan sausage. Tomorrow I'm going to do that. I will do something unhealthy. I got a small thing of 5 biscuits, which I'll end up eating all of them. I just love biscuits, which is in that, I'll go in right from there. Yeah, so I'm going to have hummus and a pita when we're done here today. Then, if that didn't sound like enough excitement for you, hummus, pita, and for dinner, I'm going to have fake turkey cutlets with yellow squash for dinner. Good times. Good times. That's the way I eat. It's all pretty good. So yeah, so it's just a matter of getting stuff set up for the fish. So it's I'm just gonna be doing a lot of moving here over the next couple of weeks. Yeah, it's fake turkey cutlets made out of tofu. And you can make them. They send it with gravy. You put gravy on top of them, and that you make up, and then you know and they're actually shockingly good. I also have, what I didn't pick up is the fake chicken wings. And you have to sort of defrost the sauce, and you put the cutlets in a deal and you mix it up with the different, whatever sauce comes with it. And then you put that in the oven, you make it up. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. I mean, just a treat and a half. And but the best one they do is fishless fillets. Fishless fillets. And at the health food store, they frequently sell out of them. That's how good they are. I mean, it's they if like Mrs. Paul's or the Gorton Fisherman, that guy. These people, I'm going to tell you, they are absolutely. These are really good. You put a little salsa on it. Big thumbs up. Big thumbs up. I mean, really, really good. I like it a whole lot. So it's tonight. I may cheat tonight. Actually, I won't cheat because I'm gonna go to. I think I'm gonna go to the sports bar to watch the boxing match tonight. I think that's one of the things I'm gonna be up to doing. So I'll figure that out and go from there. Go from there all the way around. Pan-fried bluegills. You know what else is really good, Vinny the Mooch, for fishing? And the fishless fillet, yes, it is available, but it's like imitation fish. And for those of you who come from a Catholic background, like I do, it is it's getting into the Lenten season. No meat on Fridays, and on Ash Wednesday. Ash Wednesdays is coming up Wednesday, so I'll be eating vegan, the wonderful vegan meal. So there you go. Let's see here. Yeah, bluegill fishing is really good. You know what else is really a great fish? Great to eat? Crappie. And now it's spelled like crappie, but it's crappie. And it is great. And it's mainly a spring fish that you go for. Those are very, very sweet. All right, David. So you have to go fish and get some bluegill. It's we had an next door neighbor growing up, and he was a professional bass fisherman, and he would show up with like a string of bass for us every once in a while. And my mom would make beer batter, fry them up in beer batter. I mean, good, 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 delicious. Uh, catfish is good. Fish was good. Fish is real good. So salmon's good for you. And that eel salmon thing, Chewy, I know you like eel and you like salmon on its own, but the combination together, maybe like peas and carrots. The peas and carrots are delicious fish. So we'll figure that out. We'll find out how good that is. I love salmon sushi, which is, by the way, an American thing. In Japan, they don't have salmon, so they don't have salmon sushi. But yeah, it's delicious. Ika, the squid sushi, big fan. I appreciate that very much. So Bolo's back on my lap now. Let me show you to him. He is snoring. Well, and I woke him up. Now he's laying over. He's snoring. As soon as I move my hand or doing movement, he pops up. But he'll be upside down here before we know it. I'm going out right from there. Move slowly. I'm moving too much for him. He's now moving over next to me. He likes the warmth of my leg, but so it's all good. Oh, the speed growth hormone comes from the eel. All right, it's gonna taste just like the GMO foods thing. Here's my thoughts on this: is that when we eat, we're essentially eating four different things: proteins, fats, fibers, sugars. When everything is said and done, that's what we eat. And so a GMO, and we've been genetically modifying our food, not in a test tube, but since the earliest days of farming. It's like the largest chicken, the chicken that lays the most eggs. Well, let that chicken have more babies. Maybe we'll get more just like her that lays a lot of eggs. Oh, it's this particular type of green bean reproduces much better. Bigger beans. Okay, let's selectively breed that and propagate that for the future. Humanity has done that since the beginning, since we have become agrarian. Would that be the right term? And that's what we do. You look at guppies. Obviously, we're not eating guppies, and it's going on from there. There are health concerns about it due to parasitic issues as well as cancer creation, in theory. Yeah, again, I've read all the stuff on that, and I'm much more concerned about, if you want to eat organically, I'm much more interested in that than I am about, splicing in a gene that'll help something grow quicker, etc. For instance, if you and and I am guessing this is totally true. You and I probably eat something that has cancer in it every once in a while. It's they say in our bodies there are it's yeah, I and I'm not arguing, Chewy, but I'm just saying, give me a firm study. A study meaning this, and this is where I think science has sort of lost it, in many things over the last about 15 years, 20 years. The idea of being able to recreate something, whatever that may be. For instance, we understand if we smoke 5 packs a day, there's a fighting chance you're going to get cancer. In fact, very likely. But we know people who don't smoke, they're not around people who all of a sudden come down with lung cancer. How'd that happen? It's And well, I don't like the pig genes going into a tomato because I like to keep kosher. And for those of our Jewish friends and Muslim friends who are kosher, well, it sort of changed a little couple of things. But I'm just talking about the theory of it. That's what it goes through. And well, the deal is with cancer is that we all know certain things. For our personal health, we know certain things. Too many sugars that our body cannot handle. Um, that it overworks the pancreas. Once the pancreas begins to fail, it's not a good thing. And when people get pancreatic cancer or they get diabetes or whatever it is, it's going on from there. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, a lot of cancer cases also go into, for instance, especially in the Northeast United States, I lived there, is that, they have a lot of, especially outside the real big cities, back before they really ain't knew any difference, PCPs, all these different things that are proven carcinogens that you can scientifically prove that you have a connection that can be repeated over and over and over again. People who have all sorts of different habits, different lives, all this sort of stuff. And their own unique thing is that they were, connected to this toxic material. And everyone's coming down with the same type of cancer. Well, you pretty much can go out and prove it. And well, and the smelters, they pump, toxic, fumes into the air. It's just a lot of these things that we go through, and the idea is, it says, I've read things like this, is that nearly every one of us have some cancerous cells in our body. Nearly all of us. But there has to be a trigger for them to grow and to attack the body. And once they understand why these things are triggered, the molecular reasoning, we go out and say, okay, you're smoking 5 packs a day, you come down with lung cancer. That's, there's equal correlation. What we don't understand is exactly the molecular thing that allows that cell, that cancerous cell that we all have in our bodies, to expand and grow. We don't know. I wish we did. I wish I could explain it to you. I can't. Um, the process of, GMO foods, um, you know, I I get the fear stuff that's gone in, and I get the theories that go through it. Hasn't been proven. I get the idea that insecticides and stuff like that, probably not all that good for the environment. Probably not, but but insecticides have done a lot of good as well. So the prospect of of having repeatable, scientifically verifiable, that you can repeat stuff that's going through. Yeah, and fish people are science people. Exactly correct. And hey, thank you very much for stopping by, Vinny the Mooch. Really appreciate it. And yeah, well, I think anybody who does the steroid type stuff and all that sort of thing, very difficult to do. It goes in right from there. All right, gang, we talked geek stuff. You heard my point of view on it. I may be all wet, your point of view, which is fine. It's I don't know the answers either. Nobody really, and I don't think science has a lot of stuff. They come up to conclusions on very small type of things, and I think we should always look at certain studies with a certain amount of skepticism. A lot of times there are people out there just trying to do stuff because of their own back pocket. So again, and I have no problem with people making money, but it is what it is. And I don't have a problem. And if you like my fetching T-shirt for Bolo or on a coffee mug, I would go from there. Yep, Doug, there you go. Yeah, Chris Benoit, steroids. Hey, Lumpy Dog, where have you been, brother? We're having a great time. Appreciate having you here. So it's it's CTE, where you take hits on the head over and over again. Uh, these MMA fighters, they talk about boxers having issues. Football players have huge things. MMA guys, they are not wearing, though that's basically a straight punch into the noggins. Some of these guys are going to be drooling by the time they're 40. And it's real scary. I look at that and I saw a knee to somebody's head the other day. And I'm going, oh, it's we'll do a big giveaway at some time in the future. When we get to 500 subs, we'll do a giveaway, and so we'll do something fun. So, all right, gang, it's 1:00. TikTok. I gotta get to do some stuff. I have to blow my nose. My nose has been congesting up the entire hour. All right, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. You guys have a great day.